election, the election, if I'm not mistaken, is on Tuesday, November the 5th. I don't know what the latest polls is. Really don't care. You guys already know how I feel about voting and how I feel about both candidates. And you guys know I've publicly made it very clear that I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, and that I have clearly stated that black people need their own independent party. It is time to separate ourselves from both parties and form a party that strictly is for the well-being and the betterment and empowerment of black people. But yet, here we go again. And, the Democrats are just falling out of favor with a lot of people. They're getting into it with people from the Green Party. We already know their relationship with the Republicans. But they're starting to make everybody mad. And then there's this strategy. And I think, to be honest with you guys, we already know who they're going to blame if Kamala Harris loses the election. Which I don't care. Ask me, do I care? Ask me, do I care what anybody think right about this time? But you saw this from the gate. Nothing but finger pointing and wagging their finger and trying to shame and disrespect black men into supporting Kamala Harris, a questionable non-black person, which I don't consider her black. Okay. But now you have people like Magic Johnson, who joined the pile on to sit up there and come wagging his finger at black people. To be honest with you, if you really wanted to really stoop to that level about Magic Johnson and just like really talk about his past, Magic Johnson, as much as I respect him as an entrepreneur and a basketball player, to be honest with you, he really technically has no room to criticize and talk bad to black men based off what happened with him and how irresponsible he was as a basketball player. And we all know what I'm referring to, but we won't dive deep into that. That was a long time ago, but at the end of the day, if we wanted to bring that up, we could. But I don't like the idea of him once again talking about we need to get black men to the polls and support Kamala Harris, because Donald Trump promised black people a lot of. What did Donald Trump specifically promise black people? What about all the promises that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden made that they didn't, keep? Did y'all know that more black people have been shot by the police under the watch of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? So it's really not going to make no difference if Donald Trump does what he says and he's going to grant the police immunity, because pretty much for the most part, under their watch. People keep talking about democracy and stuff, but then Kamala Harris, once again, and Joe Biden, and now Joe Biden is lightweight throwing Kamala Harris under the bus, saying that basically anything that went good or bad has been, under his watch, and she knew about it. So that means they were lying about the border crisis when she said she didn't have nothing to do with that, or she wasn't in charge of that when she was supposed to be the border liaison. Okay, so don't play with me. Keep in mind, Kamala Harris is the same person when when Bobit was going on, or should I say, as they started to issue out the potion, the elixir, the concoction. Wasn't Kamala Harris talking about she was going to be going door to door asking people have they, took the potion, and if they didn't, they could get, take the potion right on the spot? Why would I want the National Guard coming to my house asking me, basically to me violate my HIPAA rights? Now keep in mind, this was the same administration who keep talking about they fighting for abortion rights, right to decide what to do with your body. These are the same people that forced you to put something in your body. It should have been your choice. And I said time and time again, there should have been an alternative, and they didn't want to look for an alternative. And then to a certain degree, you had those medical companies that were creating so-called, potion, you know, donating money. Then, they gave them stock options and all that kind of stuff. And then the thing was, look, government, they wasn't required to take it, but they told us we had to take it. But that is in dictatorship. Keep in mind, these are the same people that were secretly plotting, the Democrats, that is, who's constantly violated Second Amendment rights. Kamala Harris, if she's elected president, she wants to be able to have the power to where basically if they see the need, they can just come in your house while you're not there and look for weapons, and they can just seize them. So that isn't dictatorship. But then they talking about Trump as a dictator. Anytime when they mandate something or force you to do something, whether you and you don't have a choice, that's dictatorship. These were the same people that were, keep in mind, the Biden administration was the same people that was harassing social media companies and platforms such as this very one right here, Instagram, Facebook, basically harassing them about telling people to take the potion. And then they want to have the right to put in law that they can find these people, basically find a way to take their money. So that isn't dictatorship. What happened to freedom of the press? All these words started getting invented under their watch. Misinformation and all this kind of stuff. So, this needed to get put out there. And I'm just keeping it a buck. So it's no real difference between Kamala Harris and the Biden administration's dictatorship versus Trump's dictatorship, because both of them are trying to find one way or another to issue some kind of dictatorship. Nobody wants to have those conversations. But what I'm getting tired of is these dudes like Obama, Magic Johnson, D.L. Hughley trying to bully and shame black men. How many times have we said ask us nicely? Stop talking about you disappointed and it's unacceptable and all this kind of stuff. First of all, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You're talking to grown men. You're talking to fathers. You're talking to brothers. You're talking to uncles. You're talking to grandfathers. In some cases, great grandfathers. Where do you get all talking to us like this? You don't see nobody doing this to other people but black men. You don't see them talking about Latino man, you need to go out and vote. Asian man, you need to go out and vote. You never hear this kind of stuff, but then they constantly try to do this and pull this with black men. You constantly see them trying to wag their finger at black men and try to act like and trying to debo us into supporting Kamala Harris, and then try to question our blackness and all this kind of stuff. How many times have we told the Tiffany Crosses and the Simone Sanders and Angela Rye, how many times have we told them people, and Joy Reid, to stop talking to us like we're kids? We're not your kids. We're grown men. We've said that on several occasions. But to sit up here and be having these dudes try to chastise us, yeah, that's where I have a big problem. I don't appreciate somebody trying to chastise me like I'm some kind of kid. And they only try to pull this stuff with black men. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is just real talk. Obama don't have too much stock with me, cause I never voted for the nigga twice, cause I started to see things in him that I didn't like, and I wasn't caught up in the whole, oh, he's the first black president, because technically there were presidents that had black in them, and or possibly they were half black, but that's another video for another day. But you see this way too often, and it just needed to get said, because we were just like a lot of people, and I was talking to a lot of my constituents and a lot of my brothers behind the scenes about, like, what's up with this stuff? These people always try to humiliate black men. And then what it was doing, you had people that wasn't black who are Kamala supporters trying to talk crazy to black men, trying to act like they can chastise us. I wish some non-black would come up trying to check me and try to question my blackness if I don't support Kamala Harris, who ain't black her damn self. But that's where I draw a line in the sand. And now some of these Democratic strategists are starting to see this is not the way to go. You even had Simone Sanders saying, I don't think this is a good idea, because now they're starting to see that black men are rebelling, are basically like giving them the middle finger, because this is not working. I'm not feeling this. You don't do this to nobody but black men. You always try to put black men on public display. You always try to put us on a public auctioning block, like we slaves, like we don't have a mind of our own. We know Kamala Harris history, no matter how much you try to scrub it. It exists, it's out there, and it happened. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. You got 3 weeks, but at the end of the day, I think it's a little too late. I think people's minds are already made up. And like I said before, you're being tuned out. A lot of black men, such as myself, are tuning y'all out because you don't know how to talk to us properly. Instead of telling us or demanding that we vote for Kamala Harris, you should ask us nicely. You should explain to us in a more respectable way why we support Kamala Harris, instead of saying, oh, this is unacceptable. Black man, you need to do this. And if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you're stupid. The scare tactics are not working. The bullying is not working. The harassment is not working. The shaming is not working. You better come with something better than what you're doing now, because I'm telling you, black men are tired. A lot of us, we're tired of being disrespected publicly. At the end of the day, we gonna decide what we want to do and what's best for us based off our own research. I see we got a troll, but we'll get rid of him. But anyway, I don't know why people come on here trolling, but it is what it is. And see, if you proving my point. Anyway, it's your boy Town. I'm out.